right, ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They're in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Abbasi Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shun Kalfani, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shun Kalfani, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
ETM Hotel, Rennie Sean, welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into Science with Sean. I know I'm about a couple hours late from the time that I actually posted the show, but you know, I had to watch a Saw and Motel talk about, speak with the author about the book that just released. If you missed that, man, go over to Saw and catch that. Again, I'm on my Saw-ish. I'm pissing everybody off. I don't even want no friends. I'm pissing everybody off. I'm going to people's neck all day long. And I'm just hitting them with information. I'm challenging people's position, and I'm making them very uncomfortable. That's the only way we're going to learn. That's the only way we're going to get to the root. That's the only way we're going to be able to advance our people, is by everybody being uncomfortable. This whole lackadaisical or not being challenged stuff, nah, it's for the birds. It's for the birds. So today we're going to talk about immunocompromised. We're going to deal with an article I published in Jama. We're going to listen to a summarized version, then we're going to walk through some key points in the article, and then it has a bunch of sources tied to it. So it's a good learning experience, something that we all can appreciate, and you know, we're gonna have a little fun with it. There's a couple of things in here that I want to kind of go over, and then hopefully tomorrow, you know, we can get into Brother Kevin Chilhur's sit down with this unvaccinated guy, and we can see if we can seek to understand what this dude's position is, and what Brother Kevin Chilhur's position is. So with that being said, man, look, do me a favor. Like the show, share the show. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Let's get the views up. Hit the like button. People that'll catch the replay, I appreciate it. Like the show, share the show. And let's see where we are with this thing. So go ahead and share my screen before I even do that. I know I'm what up, Pure Black? Omar, Miss Blackwell, what up? Chavez, what up? Peace, sister out there. Keenan was good. And all the other viewers that'll be catching the replay are coming in a little later. Peace to you. All right, let me see something real quick. Share my screen. Don't get mad, Chavez. Oh, hold up before I even get going. Boom. All right, so researchers tie severe immunosuppression to chronic COVID-19 and virus variants. This is the Jama review by yours truly. And y'all gonna participate in this too, man. This ain't a me thing. This a we thing. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Yo, talk to me, Cleveland. Yeah? Really? Are you serious? I know you're worried. You're thinking this is gonna be like another Tuskegee? I get it. They've been doing black people dirty for years. So why wouldn't we be concerned this time? Here's the situation, people. In Tuskegee, they did not give us the disease, but what they didn't do was give us the cure. But by not taking this vaccine, we're Tuskegeeing ourselves. The truth is, if we don't protect ourselves, nobody will. We're at over 150 million people vaccinated. And if your doctor and your mother haven't turned into zombies by now, then you won't either. The truth, man, he got his grip my head. Okay, that's it. That was new. He was like,
I'm trying to balance you so you can hold your head.
Jeff, I can balance my own head.
All right, so here's our outline for the day: the intro, research questions, hypothesis, definition, review, conclusion, and sources. All right, so with the vaccine rollout related to SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19, immunity has been an ongoing issue. Most of this provoked by different emerging variants, others out of necessity. In this lecture, we will review data published by Jama related to a case study that raised scientists' eyebrows. We got 3 research questions today. We need to find out what role do variants play among the immunocompromised? Do variants pose a threat to the immunocompromised? And let's see if we can find some risk factors related to the immunocompromised. I believe that the average Americans know very little about the immune system and how it can be compromised, or what actually causes a need for booster shots to protect themselves from pathogens. As new variants emerge, this poses a threat to people with weak immune systems who may also suffer from other diseases known as comorbidities. That's someone that has 2 or more diseases. I am of the belief that our unfamiliarity with the role variants play in the middle of a pandemic could cause more deaths in our community directly. So a few definitions. What is immunocompromised? It's basically, in short, is having a weakened immune system. Or people who are immunocompromised have reduced ability to fight infection and other diseases. So I want you to think about what a virus does. A virus infects the body. So immunocompromised, they have a reduced ability to fight that infection and other diseases. You'll see this in people with conditions such as AIDS, cancer, diabetes, malnutrition, and certain genetic disorders. I'm going to say that again. You'll see this in people with AIDS, cancer. We know people who fighting cancer, diabetes, malnutrition, and certain genetic disorders. Also, it could be caused by certain medicines or treatments, such as anti-cancer drugs, radiation therapy, and stem cell or organ transplant. My sister, she's got organ transplant situation. You'll find out more about that in my book, but you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is a problem. I got an uncle with cancer, fighting cancer. He gets radiation therapy. You see what I'm saying? And he's a first assistant and he's vaccinated, but we don't know, how this gonna go with new variants and stuff. So that's what immunocompromised or immunosuppressed is, basically the last little part of that. Now, what is a variant? An alteration in the most common DNA nucleotide sequence. In short, a variant is basically we get new variants once the original virus mutates. When the original virus mutates when it mutates into something else from its original source, that will be called a variant. So this is why we have Delta, Alpha, Delta, Lambda. You know what I'm saying? We have all of these different ones because, the virus has went into other areas of the world, populated, other areas of the world. I'm saying populated like it's a person, but you know what I mean? It infected new hosts who live in certain parts of the globe, and it's adapting to the environment, the climate, all of those elements that make up the sustainability of life in the areas where the virus exists, and new variations of the virus have emerged, causing different variants to occur and also subunits of those variants. Now, what is a booster shot? Booster shot is an additional dose of an immunizing agent, such as a vaccine or toxin, given at a time after the initial dose to sustain the immune response elicited by the previous dose of the same agent, also called booster doses. I don't know why it's running off the page like that, and I apologize, but basically it is what it is with that. A booster shot is basically an additional dose of the same vaccine, of the same dosage you had before. It could be some little extra stuff into that. All right, so that's cool. We got those definitions out of the way. Now, a growing number of cases reports suggest that patients with severely weakened immune systems can take months to clear COVID-19, if they ever do. Virologists worry that prolonged infection and certain therapies can provide the time and the evolutionary pressure for variants to emerge.
A UK man in his 70s was admitted to a hospital in Cambridge with COVID-19 pneumonia. He had first tested positive for SARS-CoV-2 a month prior. Throughout his hospitalization, the patient continued to test positive with a high viral load. This, along with his worsening illness, indicated that he was battling an ongoing infection with live replicating virus for more than 100 days. His body wasn't equipped for the task. Back in 2012, he had been diagnosed with marginal B-cell lymphoma. The blood cancer, along with the treatment he received for it, had wiped out his B and T cells, both arms of his adaptive immune response, leaving him severely immunocompromised.
The case report describing this patient's infection and treatment was published in the journal Nature. It's part of a growing number demonstrating that some infected patients with severely weakened immune systems can take months to clear COVID-19, if they ever do. And virologists worry that their prolonged infections and certain therapies can provide the time and the evolutionary pressure for variants to emerge. Each virus has an average rate of mutations that it accumulates over time. Virologists sometimes refer to this as a molecular clock. Before variants began emerging, researchers would have expected SARS-CoV-2 to accumulate about 2 mutations per month. But if you look at the B117 or Alpha variant first detected in the UK, it was ticking to a different clock.
For B117, there were 23 mutations that differentiated it from the closest virus. So that's a lot of mutations to kind of come out of nowhere, and in a country that is very heavily sampled,
That's Dr. Ravindra Gupta, one of the physicians who cared for the patient described earlier and a co-author of the case study. At the time B117 was detected, the UK already had a robust virus surveillance system. If B117 was accumulating mutations as it spread from person to person, then this surveillance system should have detected it at different points in its lineage. So how is it possible that it didn't?
So Dr. Gupta told me that he believes it's evolution within a single host. And it's being hidden from our surveillance because it's happening in one patient over the course of 3 or 4 months, and then it's spreading to different people.
In a patient with a healthy immune system, the viral population would remain more or less uniform during the course of infection with SARS-CoV-2. But that's not what researchers have seen in some severely immunosuppressed patients. Let's take a look at the patient described in Nature. The physicians caring for him obtained whole genome sequencing at 23 time points over the course of his 101-day illness, starting with his first positive swab. During the initial few weeks, the viral populations were uniform.
There was very little change in the virus, actually. And the problem arose because he was getting sicker and breathless and coughing, and we had to find some treatment.
The patient received 2 courses of remdesivir, which resulted in little change in the overall structure of the viral population. Then, the patient also received 2 bags of convalescent plasma.
And unfortunately, it didn't really help to clear the infection. But what happened, as we found in the sequencing later, was that the virus started undergoing really big changes, and they seemed to kind of move up and down with the kinetics or the kind of the levels of the antibodies in the blood.
When the plasma was given, a predominant virus emerged that was resistant to the antibodies in it. Then, after a few weeks, as the plasma sort of washed out of the patient's body, different variants emerged that became predominant. Then, when another round of plasma was given, that resistant variant came back and dominated.
Extrapolate too much from one case study. It demonstrates how SARS-CoV-2 can evolve rapidly within one host.
That y'all actually what she said. Listen to the mutation pattern in this immunocompromised 70-year-old man.
Levels of the antibodies in the blood.
When the plasma was given, a predominant virus emerged that was resistant to the antibodies in it. Then, after a few weeks, as the plasma sort of washed out of the patient's body, different variants emerged that became predominant. Then, when another round of plasma was given, that resistant variant came back and dominated through the end of the patient's life.
While it's wise to be cautious and not extrapolate too much from one case study, it demonstrates how SARS-CoV-2 can evolve rapidly within one host when faced with selective pressure. In this case, suboptimal immune response and therapy. There is no evidence that this particular patient transmitted SARS-CoV-2 to anyone else, especially as he spent the majority of his illness isolated in the hospital. But some virologists believe that variants of concern arose when similarly chronically infected patients transmitted the virus. It is nearly impossible to prove this, so despite it being a leading hypothesis, there is not a consensus that this is what actually happened. However, there is agreement that more attention needs to be paid to the potential increased risks for immunosuppressed patients and their communities. This is especially true as research suggests that COVID-19 vaccines may not generate a robust response in some severely immunosuppressed individuals. So they may continue to be vulnerable despite being vaccinated. This is why the FDA authorized a booster dose of mRNA vaccines in August 2021 for certain immunosuppressed individuals, which may increase their protection. They are the very first group to receive a booster authorization. It's also very important to vaccinate the people around immunosuppressed individuals to create a kind of bubble. If they do become infected, one of the biggest questions is how long such patients should remain isolated. Isolating potentially contagious patients is a sound public health tactic, but it can negatively affect the individual's emotional well-being.
So while we may look at these patients as potential reservoirs of contagious virus, they're patients, they're people. And so while they need to be isolated, that takes a toll on them. And the physicians I spoke to are concerned with their well-being and want to know when they can let them go home.
The CDC says that physicians can consider using a test-based strategy to decide when to stop isolating immunosuppressed individuals. But people may test positive even after they're no longer contagious. On the ground, the protocols differ from one health facility to another. Physicians are looking at multiple factors.
They're looking at, are they still symptomatic? Are they getting worse? Obviously, are they still testing positive? Do they have a high viral load? All of those factors play into whether or not they can be released from isolation.
In addition to isolation protocols, other questions remain. There are not enough data to establish which patients are most at risk for prolonged infection, for instance. Case studies have described diverse presentations, including transplant recipients, patients with blood cancers, and a patient with untreated HIV. Some case studies have also implicated treatments such as CAR T-cell therapy and rituximab. And more data are needed on how therapies should be deployed in COVID-19 patients with any of these diverse risk factors. For millions of immunosuppressed patients and their physicians, there remains a lot of uncertainty.
So the big question is, how can we treat them to save their lives, to consider their well-being, and to also protect the community from variants of concern?
If you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe to our channel.
All right, so some points here to think about. Last summer, a UK man in his 70s was admitted to Attenborough Hospital in Cambridge with COVID-19 pneumonia. He hadn't been able to shake his illness since testing positive for SARS-CoV-2 more than a month earlier. Despite interventions including multiple rounds of antiviral remdesivir and convalescent plasma, he died in the hospital's intensive care unit about 9 weeks after his arrival. Throughout his hospitalization, the patient continued to test positive with a high viral load. This, along with his worsening illness, indicated that he was battling an ongoing infection with live replicating virus for more than 100 days. His body wasn't equipped for the task. Back in 2012, he had been diagnosed with marginal B-cell lymphoma, which is the blood cancer, along with the treatment he received for it, had wiped out his B and T cells, both arms of his adaptive immune system, immune response, leaving him severely immunocompromised. So I'm gonna run that back for people who just got in the chat. They came into the chat. We're doing a review that was held in Jama. All right. We're discussing the implications of a 70-year-old man who is immunocompromised, who fought SARS-CoV-2 for more than 100 days. The virus, even during treatment, replicated and different variants emerged. And then a new variant, a remissed variant re-emerged until he could not fight it anymore and died. They gave him remdesivir and convalescent plasma treatments to try to, help him out because he was immunocompromised and he couldn't get a vaccination. So they were just trying things to help fight long enough for him to be able to either overcome it and then potentially get vaccinated or something like that, see if that'll work. But let's continue. That's where we are. for those who just joined us. Now, the University of Cambridge clinical microbiology professor, Ravindra K. Gupta, who we saw in the video, who consults part-time on infectious disease cases at Addenbrooke, was involved in the patient's care. Gupta and colleagues analyzed the man's SARS-CoV-2 genomic sequences, which they had collected over 23 times points, starting with the first positive nasal swab. Now, their findings published in Nature, which should be in the description of the video. Yeah, that's in the description of the video. Finding it in February showed the virus evolving and adapting to treatment over 3-month-long infection. Now, the patient was likely contagious all along. Gupta said in an interview, although there's no evidence that the virus was transmitted to others. Now, he says, I think we need to wise up that there's a group that could sustain transmission and generate new variants to the virus. This is Mellors, the MD chief of the infectious disease division at the University of Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh Medical Center. This is what he said in the interview. I'm going to run that back. He says, I think we need to wise up that there's a group, meaning people, that could sustain transmission and generate new variants to the virus. Now, Mellors and Gupta are among the virologists who believe the SARS-CoV-2 variants of concern circulating the globe first arose in immunocompromised hosts. This is just a belief of theirs. They believe that immunocompromised people had the capability of creating new variants. Now, there's no other explanation on how this is happening, Gupta said. It's the product of chronic infection. Physicians are now grappling with how best to treat COVID-19 in severely immunocompressed patients without encouraging treatment-resistant variants to emerge. They're also working out how long to isolate these patients and how to determine when it's safe to lift the precautions. Exactly who falls under the category of severely immunocompressed is still an open question. The challenge we and other centers are now facing is how to define who these patients are. Gadi Hadir, MD, at a transplant infectious disease physician at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, said in the email. Now, certain conditions, including some hematological malignancies and rare congenital disorders, can sustainably impair the immune system, according to University of Cal San Diego infectious disease specialist Sama Aslam. Notice how the article continues to refer to infectious disease specialists, not internet doctors, internet immunologists. Now, the moderate immunosuppressive therapies for immune-mediated disease, cancer, and transplants can cause transient or chronic immune deficiencies for millions of patients. Aslam and others cited Infliximab, a B-cell depleting agent used in certain blood cancers and a range of autoimmune disorders, as one such medication on their radar. A recent study in gout potentially implicates Infliximab, a biologic used to treat inflammatory bowel disease, as another. Now, let's take a look at the study, and we want to look at 3 points of contention: the design of the study, the results of the study, and the conclusion from Infliximab. Now, the design of the study was an antibody response, and participants treated with Infliximab were compared with a reference cohort treat with Valesano, a gut-selective anti-integrin, which is, what is that? X4B7 monoclonal antibody. That's basically all it is the treatments that we're talking about right now in this study are monoclonal antibodies that is associated with impaired vaccine response or increased susceptibility to systemic infection. They had 6,935 patients were recruited for the UK study from 92 UK hospitals between September 22nd and December 23rd, 2020. Now, monoclonal antibody is pretty much what Trump got when he first was infected. They gave him monoclonal antibody treatment. And then after the treatment, after he was able to fight through his infection, he later would be vaccinated. Now, results, rates of systemic and proven SARS-CoV-2 infection were similar between groups. Prevalence was lower in the Infliximab treatment than the Valesano treatments. I don't want to go too far into all of the specific numbers right here, but the conclusion was this. Infliximab is associated with an intuitive serological response to SARS-CoV-2 that were further blunted by immunomodulators used as concomitant therapy. Impaired serological responses to SARS-CoV-2 infection might have important implications for global public health policy and individual anti-TNF treatment patients. Serological testing and virus surveillance should be considered to detect suboptimal vaccine responses, persistent infection, and viral evolution to inform public health policy. So they are looking for ways to offset severe immunosuppressed or compromised people. Now, let's move on. Not all immunocompromised patients are the same. And the ones we are seeing with true chronic or recurrent COVID tend to be patients who have significant impaired B-cell immunity, usually with some T-cell impairment. The CAR T recipients, lymphoma patients on treatment of Rituximab users were late. Francisco Marty, MD, wrote in an email. Marty, who was an infectious disease physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital, in the Journal of Transplant Infectious Disease, died in April. Complicating the matter, some severely immunocompromised patients don't mount a robust response to standard vaccines, like those of influenza and hepatitis B, Miller said. Research is starting to show that the same is likely true for the novel coronavirus. In a recent study at Johns Hopkins University, only about half of 658 fully vaccinated solid organ transplant recipients generated SARS-CoV-2 antibodies. There was something that I wanted y'all to know. Let me go back here. I guess we can just move on. Now, severely immunosuppressed patients are therefore uniquely vulnerable, not only to becoming infected, but also being chronically infected and infectious. Researchers are interested in using monoclonal antibodies prophylactically in these patients. In the meantime, it's critical that family members and caregivers are vaccinated to create a bubble around people with weakened immune systems, says Joshua Hill, MD, an assistant professor at the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Division of Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research and Allergy Infectious Disease Division at the University of Washington. This is important. I'm gonna pause right here just for a second. This is important because right now we're in the middle of a battle with our brothers and sisters about getting vaccinated and understanding the importance of vaccinations, and they're like, nah, I ain't getting vaccination. I'd rather have COVID 3 times. You see what I'm saying? Like the ignorance, the irony and the ignorance of that. But the reason you want to get COVID is because you have immunocompromised family members. Now, you might not know that their immune systems are compromised or suppressed because they haven't identified these issues with you because they're hiding things from you. Like, they got sick recently and they might be fighting something. See, like my uncle, you wouldn't know that he actually has cancer unless somebody told you that he actually has cancer, which makes him immunocompromised because he gets treatment. That treatment and him being vaccinated really doesn't help him out because he's susceptible of still being infected, which can lead to critically ill situations. He has comorbidities. He has at least 2 diseases. I know cancer is one, and I think he might have like diabetes or something like that, or high blood pressure, 1 or 2. I can't remember the other one. But he has comorbidities, and he's immunocompromised. So if he comes around and everybody's not vaccinated and someone is infected, it can critically kill him. It could take him out of here, even if he's vaccinated. This is what people don't understand about breakthrough infections. Like, we've seen people reposting the same stuff over and over of Black people dying from fully vaccinated from breakthrough infections. It's not millions of people. It's not thousands of people. It's not 10,000s of people. It's the same people posting the same stuff in new comment threads every day. And they don't understand that immunocompromised and suppressed patients are vulnerable. And that's why infectious disease agents are telling us that we need to be vaccinated so that we can create a bubble around these people who are suppressed that will help protect them. See, this is why, again, people who saying, all right, well, it's my choice not to get vaccinated. This is why you don't have a choice no more. Your choice is, you have forfeited your choice in a public health crisis. You can have your choice somewhere else, but it's a public health crisis. And right now we're trying to create a bubble around the people who we love to protect them, to keep them around, to help them through this battle. Without the assurance of vaccine protection, effective therapies are of paramount importance for individuals. But basically, none of the medical interventions for treatment of COVID infections have really been well studied in immunocompromised patients, Hill said in the interview. For now, monoclonal antibodies offer the best hope for people with COVID-19 who can't produce their own antibodies. But in regions where they aren't yet approved or widely available outside of the clinical trials like the UK, clinicians often rely on conservating plasma for these patients, Gupta said. While monoclonals are standardized, the level of neutralizing antibodies in plasma from patients who have recovered from COVID-19 isn't and may not be optimal. They're still sketchy. They're sketchy on plasma. Scientists hadn't settled on that, citing that the plasma treatments really wasn't that useful, but they're using them in immunocompromised just to try to get some type of aid and assistance to these people. Now, high antibody titers are also key avoiding variant evolution. A treatment that helps keep patients alive for a time without delivering a knockout punch could give the virus a chance to adapt. Now, Hayder and Mellors were co-authors of the case study we're talking about in the clinical trial infectious disease describing CAR-T therapy recipient treatment-resistant multiply myeloma who had infectious SARS-CoV-2 endotracheal aspirate 72 days after COVID-19 diagnosis. So in the study, somebody had it 72 days. Let's go. Now, genomic sequencing identified, listen to this, 5 variants that arose within the individual after his initial infection with the dominant strand that was circulating in Pittsburgh. Our patient had 2 rounds of conservating plasma, so I think it may have had some role. Now, this is the dangers of plasma treatment, okay? They're thinking that the plasma treatment is provoking adaptation, causing mutations in a person's body. First, we talked about a 70-year-old who had a bout with it for 100 days that had 23 instances of, stuff going around and a bunch of variants emerging out of him and then re-emerging and dominating his body. Now, this also appears to be true for Gupta's patient who developed what's known as a double mutant variant. Y'all heard it here first. A double mutant variant. The big shifts in the virus only really came after the plasma was infused. So as soon as they gave the man plasma, that's when stuff started going everywhere. The 2 mutations, both in the spike protein, were troubling. One bestowed modest resistance to the plasma antibodies, but decreased infectivity. The other deletion also found in the B117, which is the UK variant, or alpha, appeared to compensate for the reduction, making the variant just as infectious as the dominant strand. About 3 weeks after the first round of conservative plasma, when the antibodies had likely won, different variants took over. That is, until the next infusion, when the antibody-resistant variant resurfaced and outcompeted the rest. So this dude had 5 different variants in his body fighting him. Now, all this means that therapies that put evolutionary pressure on the virus should be considered that much more carefully for immunocompromised patients. That's what all of that means, in short. Mellors cautioned that if used, high-titered conservative plasma should be given early in the course of infection, when the antibodies it contains are more likely to fully block viral replication and evolution. Don't just give it because it's available or as a Hail Mary pass, he said. These precautions are intended to prevent highly infectious patients from transmitting the virus and new variants to others. At the end of the UPMC, which is University of Pittsburgh Medical Center patient's life, his levels of virus replication was enormous. The potential was for him to be source of transmission of one or more of those variants, he noted. But because of the good infection control practices and speeding the majority of his time out of the hospital in a relative isolated environment, that didn't occur. The first 3 variants of concern identified globally all had accumulated several mutations by the time they were discovered, which to some suggests that they evolved in individuals with chronic infections and then were transmitted to others. That is likely, in my mind, to be the source of 3 types of variants. I don't think y'all understanding what I'm saying right now. I mean, I know it's kind of boring, might not be very interesting to some of y'all, but literally, the guy had 5 variants in his body. So they're coming to their thought process behind this is that this is probably how these new variants are emerging. Conclusion. In the Jama study, we learned that variants play a significant role in negatively impacting the immunocompromised. Rather, some type of antibody treatment or vaccine immunity both tend to wear out very easily for the immunocompromised. In multiple studies, treatment showed promise, but when new variants presented themselves, reinfection continued. This is the challenge people who are immunocompromised face on a day-to-day. With vaccine efforts slowly climbing back up to the CDC and the FDA have began to recommend a 3rd dose of the mRNA vaccines. However, if this will be enough to help them in their fight against SARS-CoV-2 is still unknown. In this public health crisis, we need to make sure that we are all vaccinated. Like I said, the sources for this particular bill are in the description of this particular video. So if anyone cannot actually see the sources on the screen, you do have them in the description. Again, like the show, share the show, tell a friend. And, that's pretty much how that's going to go for that. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to try to be live. I don't know if Chill Her to be live. I'm going to try to be live to actually get him on the show to discuss his recent sit down with the unvaccinated brother. And there'll be a few things that we're going to discuss. Also, I don't know how familiar most of you are with the variant that's garnering attention right now in Belgium nursing home outbreak, which is the B1621. But it is currently making some noise. It was detected in Colombia in January, and now it is in a Belgium nursing home. It is wreaking havoc. It's also been detected in the US. We don't know if it's more infectious or transmissible, but we do know that it is popping up in places. And as of the 2nd, it was in You know, London, they had 32 cases in England. It's like, what was it like? I don't know, maybe a few thousand people may have had it, but that's what we're going with that. There's a paper also in the Lancet Infectious Disease area that talks about the cases of the B1621 and how its transmission occurs. And of course, Delta is still on the prowl, and the Lambda is emerging as well, but we just don't know how infectious any of those variants really are. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna hold too many people up, not this evening. You know what I mean? Also be on the lookout for, a surge in the kids. Surge in the kids. Kids are now on the clock. Yep. Kids on the clock. And as long as they can't get vaccinated, it's going to get worse. We'll see another one. And if immunocompromised people are potential hosts for mutation, because we all know viruses is going to adapt and mutate, but if they are, if something's going in the body and the body is fighting with it and it's adapting and doing all these different things, and it's able to come out of there into a whole nother person during transmission and emerge as a different variant, it's gonna get ugly quick. I'm gonna do this real quick. I can do this. This is my show. Before I get out of here, let's have some fun. Give me a second. I wanna show y'all something. I think that's right. I need some music. All right. Here on my Facebook. I see it. Yep. Facebook. All right. Y'all see that? In a global pandemic, a novel virus is a direct threat to Black power. That's a fact. James Hilder said, our governor's stupid, pretty much. All right, so this post right here, this one. I said, my 13-year-old son is fully vaccinated. He laughs at all of you supposedly responsible adults. What an example y'all are setting for your kids. I got 215 comments. All right, so she said, good for him. He wants a cookie. 14 people like that. Now, I'm not going to show y'all too much of this because my mama ended up popping up in this comment thread and she cusses her out. And I haven't responded to her since, but she said something, I just respond. This sister says, to each his own, we are not your son and he is not us. And I said, I totally agree. And that's why I said what I said. He's watching adults be irresponsible due to the misinformation pushed by pseudoscience on social media. And nobody has a viable solution for our people. And then this person, Keisha, she want war. She want smoke. She want all the smoke. She got time. How you figure others are irresponsible? It's irresponsible to not educate your child about the stages of approval of a drug. A drug now. She called a vaccine a drug. She continues to do that. So I'm not going to go here because it's a bunch of back and forth. I really don't even address her, really. I just sit here and tell her that vaccines is not a drug. And, of course, oh, girl, she jumped back in the way and I hit her. I said, nothing taught or thought. He sees it for himself. Seriousness. My mama on there. Let me scroll. Shorty said bad parenting. I said, yes, very bad. Bad to not vaccinate your child. Another one. I want y'all to see this. You're gonna see a pattern. The pattern is all women. There was one dude, but I kicked him off. You know what I'm saying? Because he won't even come on a panel. He won't come on the show. He won't do nothing. He won't do nothing but type. So I really don't even, you know what I mean? I was like unfriending him, said, man, just get on out of here. Every time somebody talk about something, he got an opinion about it. He like, you going back and forth with females. Negro, this is my post. And I ain't going back and forth with nobody. I'm having a conversation. Now, they might be trying to argue with me, but they ain't kicking no facts. They ain't saying nothing. They just using their opinions. They're arguing from ignorance. So I'm not taking offense to it no more. I don't get offended when people argue from ignorance. If it's a dude, I'm gonna get offended. But if it's a female, I'm not gonna get as offended. I might get agitated, but I ain't gonna get as offended because I know where she's coming from. She's really arguing from ignorance. She's arguing from a belief. She's not scientifically literate, and it's more susceptible for her to believe than to know. And I'm not saying that about all women. I'm just saying the women on social media, the majority of them. And I'm gonna prove my case. Why do y'all brag about taking the vaccine? The vaccine. I really want to know. This is what she said, so she really want to know. Who the hell is bragging? I said, no bragging at all. He made a responsible decision based on facts, not fiction. Nothing to brag about. You listening to the same. Now, we went from my son to now. What facts? You listening to the same people that have been trying to exterminate us for centuries. See what I'm saying? When I say opinions and misinformation, centuries. Now, all of a sudden, they want to save us. Responsible to whom? He can still be infected. He can still infect others, and he's not immune. What facts, really? She said he's not immune. All right, I said that's a lie. Him being vaccinated don't affect other people, sis. Where do you get your information from? TikTok or Instagram? Sheesh. I mean, in fact, not affect. Where did you get that information from? Ask your doctor and go back to me. Science. Or you just drive up to one of these kiosks jabbing folks for a free Big Mac or some shit. Evidence proven through proper methodology and rigorous studies is where I got it from. Now, if you really want me to point for point answer your questions, I can, but you're just talking and I ain't got time. I got a whole YouTube channel full of information educating people. I don't listen to the same people you say trying to exterminate us. You do. I can prove it. If you get your information from science, we would agree. Now she's saying we would agree. Nurses, look, science, and then she says this. Nurses who have worked throughout the pandemic are refusing the vaccine. Teachers, essential workers are refusing to take any brand of it. Wake up, African name and plague brain, shaking my head. And then she said, this is all good luck. Derek, the only person come fight with me. All the pseudo killers and all y'all in the chat right now, y'all ain't come fight. Sutek, he on house arrest. He can't fight. I was fighting by myself to Derek showed up this morning. And then she posted this picture. I told her to do better. Then she posted this picture and Derek killed her. Then this sister right here, she blocked me. Now, I get blocked by like 10 people on this post. This sister blocked me. Now, I don't even think she's a sister. Y'all can go look her up. This lady right here, Trisha Lynn, I don't think she's a sister at all. She's something else, but she's posing as a sister. Then CK shows up. So now CK on the post. CK the only one, you know what I mean? She ready for war. Juju didn't show up. Nobody. CK showed up. Now, Chavis showed up, but he only there to get some notifications because he want to laugh because he know my mama coming. Now my mama comment again. And then Amit, she commented. Now she ain't unfriended me yet, did she? Nah, she ain't unfriended me yet. She said, are you saying he is fully vaccinated with a COVID vaccine? Well, as soon as they give this third dose and the FDA said it's gonna go, then I might do it. Other than that, I don't think people are responsible. I ain't trying to argue with her. I said, he don't need a third. I said, he don't need a third. Slow down. You should be asking questions to learn, not provide an opinion you've inaccurately misunderstood. And then I said, your choice in a public health crisis is irresponsible. That's what I'm saying, because she said choice, right? All right. So instead of having a conversation, because we could have had a conversation about this, because she's saying once they approve it, she might do it. But we could have had a conversation where, like I said, slow down. You should be asking questions to learn, not provide an opinion. So she says, like I said, it's a choice. Every time a virus come around, it's some type of crisis. What are we talking about here? And then she said, Red, asking questions about what? Why are you telling me what I should be doing? And then I say, because it's a public health crisis, not an individual crisis. Using the name, you should know the importance of togetherness. And then she keeps on saying something, but I think I don't respond back to her at all. Oh, yeah, I do. Here I go. I said, seriously, are you joking, right? Because she said something up there. Are you a zombie? And then I said, the vaccine job is to prevent hospitalization, death, and the spread of disease, which it does. What you're referring to is infection and symptoms are reduced. So I kind of run it down really real quick to educate her. Now, I don't know if she says anything, but I wasn't going to respond. This sister called me a coon. I think we still might be friends. Nope. It say add friends. So she unfriended me. So she called me a coon and unfriended me. But look at her profile. Y'all know she's pseudo all day long. This how you know when a female is pseudo. The images that they post. And then they had these names. And they call you coon and look with a 0. I said, coon in the making. I'm a not responsible adult in the making. See, we talk all this black power-ish, right? Well, black power is about sustainability. And the only way that's possible is if we continue to procreate and extend life. A global pandemic is a threat to our existence, our children's existence, and that's why he's solid for what he did. A coon speaks from ignorance. Somebody like my comment. This pseudo-ass nigga. Jay Budon is pseudo. He don't watch the show, but he's pseudo as hell. I don't even care. Anytime he talking about something, he try to act like he on both sides of it. He always on both sides of the argument. And look at him looking crazy with a mask on his face. And he had COVID. And his mama, I think, is vaccinated. But he talk all that old crazy stuff. This sister right here, she spammed my whole post. I had to clean it up. She says, he is the science experiment. Call my son the science experiment. Let's see how valid this post is in a year. So I got to wait a year to see how valid my post is. What I don't know is that we going on 2 years. In a few months, it'll be 2 years from the first people who got the vaccine in March. We have 2 years worth of data from March. So me, I'm laughing. No experiments happened in the lab. Why wait a year? People was vaccinated almost 2 years ago. So your year later of waiting is irrelevant. You may not be around in a year, but he will. Yeah, I'll see. You have lost your mind. Watch. Some of this stuff cleaned up because she removed some stuff. Now, I say this. I said, this is sad. Y'all seen all them females on my post. And like the first 10 of them, then all unfriended me. I say, this is sad. Every one of y'all that had an opinion, not fact, an opinion about a teenager just proved my point. People always argue from ignorance, especially when it involves science as subject. Many failed in school or couldn't even follow. Instead of being scientific people have chosen feel-good rhetoric, opting out of being a responsible adult and knowing exactly what's what. My post is very valid. Thank you for proving my point. She goes, yet you wrote the post. You need validation, I see. Clearly you don't read like most black people. You are aware that the mRNA vaccine is on the stock market, right? LOL, CDC, experimental, all the pseudo shit. All the pseudo shit, none of that matters. The stock market, none of that matters. Look, your son is an experiment lab rat. She posted a video. Now I'm gonna show y'all this. I don't get offended. I don't cuss
Fact that
out.
this is an experimental vaccine and not a vaccine at this point.
Come on now. Now, here we go again. We don't know none of these people right here. This her post. We don't know none of these people right here. Any lab coats. It says founder of America's Frontline Doctors. Y'all know who she is. Dr. Simone Go. Here she go. Simone Go, noted hydroxychloroquine advocate. I told y'all knew who she was. She is a known hydroxychloroquine advocate, which failed. You see what I mean? This sister kicked all that rhetoric, talking about lab rats and don't read and all of that stuff. She said all of that. She said he is a science experiment. She say a whole lot more on the post, but I got rid of some of the stuff. Me, I say fake, and then she says experiment. I say, what the fuck are you posting on my page? This is not how science works. This is irresponsible of you as a functioning adult to do this stuff right here. So I'll educate you if you like, but I'll be wasting my time. She says, weirdo, you added me. Me adding you ain't got nothing to do with it. So he comes in with the fact checker. Told you he fighting. And then they kind of go back and forth. And then I said, I say what I say. Then she goes to an etymology right here. She called my son a baby goat. The vaccine is a patent. I say, well, duh, everything in America had a patent. Chattel property. Your DNA isn't set up to receive this information this lifetime, probably. I'm going to fall back. Really? This is all commerce. And then want to make change DNA to original people. So now they want to change the DNA, like I said. Then she goes up and talks about the method of testing and the patent number. See, can't say this is fake. It's a government website, niggas. And then I said, did she say she overstand? Look at her language, the language that she uses. Look at her name and the language she uses. Wake up, ancestors avoiding your ass. But she takes me to a pseudo. How much a pseudo is she? Is an American anti-vaccine activist, physician, attorney, author and co-founder of American Frontline Doctor, an American right-wing political organization known for spreading misinformation about COVID-19 pandemic. She gained notoriety when her video went viral. All right, in front of the U.S. Supreme Court building. Y'all remember that? Back in 2020? Them people on the steps, and they had the one black lady? Yeah, that was her. Look, she was a part of the thing. She was there. Gold spoke at a rally in D.C. telling attendees to refuse the vaccination, and the next day took part in the 2019 Capitol attack. She was there. They got her going in the dang on Capitol. She spoke from the rotunda of the Capitol and was later arrested for her participation in storming and having admitted she entered the building. They had video on this crazy ass lady. But this was she brought me. Then this sister, she says, that's great for y'all, but don't try to make people feel bad because y'all decided to take the shot. Truthfully, I'm not taking it because it's my choice. Again, everything's about choice. Black people are sounding like white people. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not trying to offend people, but right-wing white people are pissed off. When you tell them that they can't have a gun, they can't have a gun in a certain place, or you bring up vaccines, they feel like you're taking their damn privileges away. This is what this is. This is black people wanting white privilege. We ain't never been this ignorant. Ever. Her choice. Like somebody's taking her choice away from her. Oh, it ain't about making people feel bad. The virus does that daily. Your choice is, I keep repeating myself, your choice in a public health crisis is a threat to our existence. I don't understand how people don't get it. Here go this chick. not doing shit just because the government says to. Proud to have your child injected with poison. Silly rabbit. Sad, shaking my head. I give her the business. But I think she blocked me because of Yeah, said, look, she says, yeah, said to that your child, knowing you forced them and they would never have willingly took it otherwise. Then I go in. Let's see what I say. Trisha Lynn, no, it's sad to not speak with facts. It's sad to say injected with poison when you have no understanding wasn't a vaccine. It's sad that you have an opinion on a subject matter you've yet to study. It's sad that you can't be a responsible adult and study the subject matter to make a more informed decision and choose to settle on emotions. It's sad that we have to argue about a science we gave the world. It's sad that a married couple died believing Tuskegee was about giving people syphilis when it was about the refusal of treatment. And that's why they didn't get vaccinated and died from COVID. It's sad that I have to address you in this manner when I know you're smarter than this. Yet here we are, and you're probably going to block me after this, but whatever. That's why it's sad, because you have an opinion and no evidence, and it is a waste of your time commenting when you should have felt more certain in your parenting to know better so you can do better. Her response, no, it's sad that they never started giving children immunizations until black kids wanted to go to school. She ain't even black. What you care? And then she go on to say the thing you should be teaching your child is not about immunizations, treating others good regardless of their own choices. Bad parenting, pop-up bad parenting. I struck a nerve. Trisha, my son does that respectfully. He needs to know about everything and scrutinize everything. Thanks for the advice. We're ahead of the curve. And then I said, if you want to have an intelligent conversation, we can do that without the disrespect. I just don't want you to assume I'm talking at you or down at you because I see the weakness in your emotions. That's how you're responding. It's not intelligent. Stay focused here. Unc told her to shut up. And then I think that's when I got blocked. Now Keisha back. Y'all remember Keisha from earlier? She back. But before we get to Keisha, now I ain't got to read my comment. Let's get to Keisha. She says in the United States, it takes an average of 12 years for an experimental drug to travel. She back on that. She talking about preclinical trials and all this old stuff. She talking about 5,000 drugs, the whole 9 yards. Sean clearly says, Keisha wrong. Vaccines are not drugs, and it doesn't take an average of 12 years. That's misinformation. So I give her the difference between vaccines and drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A. Vaccines teach your immune system how to fight the disease causing germs. Drugs treat the infection by preventing spread to other parts of the body or even preventing symptoms while the body clears the infection itself. See there? Vaccines teach the immune system how to fight the disease causing germs. Drugs treat the infection by preventing the spread to other parts of the body or even preventing symptoms while the body clears the infection itself. Then I go in. Second generation vaccine development uses adenovirus vector, reduced the time to 2 years. Third generation technology are safer and quicker, do not require a weakened virus like old generational vaccines. And it took that long because of the process. Last 5-year technology science is sped up. That's supposed to be up the process. Now, I'm wrong, but actually went to pharmacy school. She says she went to pharmacy school. And you Google, watch this. Boom, 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 boom. It takes longer for vaccines. She say all this. FYI, vaccines are drugs with whatever is combating. Go to school for medicine. That's what she says. So I said, you are wrong. You called a vaccine a drug. Then I said, your schooling failed you. I have several people in my family who attended medical school and know the difference between a vaccine and a drug. Now, are vaccines drugs? Not really. It's a biologic. Biologics, this is for the people in the audience. Biologics are tissue fragments that cannot be expressed with the chemical formula. Vaccines, hormones such as insulin and peptide drugs are all biologics. A drug must have a chemical formula. A biologic, on the other hand, will contain molecules that differ in their molecular weights, but have in common a fundamental moiety that expresses the desired biological activity. Then I give her the FDA.gov, what are biologics, questions and answers. Boom. This ain't even in the source. This ain't even in this. But this, look, biologic products include a wide range of products such as vaccines. Come on, Sway. Drop the flex bombs. Drop the flex bombs. Look, she said, your new name, Google King. I'm sure you have no clue what you're sharing. Somebody like that. Cool. I said, that's how crazy your assumptions are. I watched you talk your way into a correction and set you up, and your assertions is Google King. What you don't know about me is this. So I showed her my books. Since she said I don't read, I read every book on there but 10. There's my virology books in my iPad under my desk. You see my notepad right there. There go my virology books. They are always under my desk. I grab them and I read. And then Google Now, I research, do my own work. And then I go on from there. Now, she gonna come back. Don't worry about it. I told you Keisha got time today. All right, positive comment right here. This sister, opinions are cool and all, but a few of you need to get beat up. Don't call her child any type of rat. She knows a dude. She was just going by the image. Please, everyone, vaccinated or not, please wear your mask, wash your hands, be vigilant. Try to keep your immune system strong. Sophia Allen just makes that. Nikki Namara. She blocked me. Now, Nikki Namara was the pump fake. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. Who in the chat got Facebook right now that can go to Facebook? I want y'all to look up this name, Nikki Namara. Well, go on my page and look if y'all see, look and see if y'all can see the comment. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can do it a different way. Because I think she deleted the comment. And the only reason that I want people to see it is because she claimed to be an expert. She said she was an expert. I can't see it. She claimed to be an expert. So she made all this stuff up. She said something about knowing where said they don't know where the virus is mutating from and all of that stuff. Look, I had 5,000 friends, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I added about 10 people. I added 10 people. And you know what I mean? I lost some more. Anyway, Nikki says, Nikki Namara. And she says she's an expert. Hold on, y'all. She says she's an expert and she argues with her colleagues all the time. But she can't be an expert. She can't be an expert with a name like that. That's one. Two, hell no, she ain't no expert. She said they can't even tell how a virus mutate. She wrong right there. Okay, her comments don't show up. All right, that means that she deleted her comment off my page and then blocked me. If y'all can't see her comment, she deleted her comment off the page and then blocked me. Because I caught her lying. She might be a herbalist and think that she's a professional, but she's not. She says they don't know. So I say, Nikki Namara. We was having a nice civil conversation. The thing is, I caught you in a twist. You said you was an expert, but the sources I provided and the fact that we had 3D images of the virus prove you were wrong. They know the mutation. I meant to say mutation site. They understand evolution and know the differences at the site. It's crazy you play the game. No epidemiologists, virologists, or immunologists have a problem with educating people and letting them know if they're vaccinated or not. She got mad when I asked her, was she vaccinated? That's why I should have screenshotted all her comments. I clearly asked her, was she vaccinated? She said I offended her. She said that's like asking if she has HIV or asking me if I had HIV or Ebola. That's what she said. And so, you know, I said you either deleted your comment and probably blocked me, shaking my head. Now, viruses rely on a host survival. So let's have class. Viruses rely on a host to survive and replicate. They invade the body of a human or animal and bind with the host cell to allow their own genetic material, RNA, to enter the cell. The host own cells read the genetic code and replicate it, making more of the virus that new viruses, then leaves the cell in search of another host to infect. Sometimes, when that genetic code is being translated into proteins, a piece of the code gets changed. Here it goes. This is called a mutation. I'm going to say that again slowly. Sometimes, when that genetic code is being translated into proteins, a piece of the code gets changed. This is called a mutation, and they happen frequently. Human cells are DNA based, and DNA, thankfully for us, has much better integrity than RNA. DNA has the ability to check itself. If there are small changes or what we call mutations to its genetic code, it can fix itself and get back to normal. RNA is a lot messy. This perpetual cycle goes on, constant replication. Each time a replication occurs, there is a small chance that the code could change. When you have this go over in a huge population over time, the odds start to favor that the virus will adjust its evolution on a very, very rapid level. Real-time evolution. So it's not surprising that a virus like SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, would mutate. That's something scientists and vaccine developers have expected since the beginning of the current epidemic. The question is, how drastically and quickly is the virus changing? So when she said that they don't know about where the virus is mutating at, they know because they know when it enters a cell, human or animal, if there is a change, it's going to happen at that site of the cell. It's going to have a different look. Oh, let me skip down and tell y'all why. I put this on her. The mutation that loosens the spike protein, the RBD. You're looking at D614G mutation, the result of a single letter change to the viral RNA code. How the hell do they know this happens? One opening right here, two openings. You see that? How wasn't nothing here right here and nothing out here. You got something right here now, and you got something out here. Now you got three openings. You got something right here. You got something right here and something right there. Play with me, man. Play with me. And then you have the dun 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 dun. What is an electron microscope? That's how they can tell where the mutation is happening at. Then I gave her the evolution of SARS-CoV-2 review of mutation. I ain't got to get into that. Then this sister right here, pseudo as hell. Watch this. She unfriended me too. I'm going to show y'all why. Hopefully I can show y'all why. She said I have to be an agent. People agree. 2 people agree. I said, Houseway, is that all people do nowadays instead of being responsible is name call? Watch this. She come back to me. You basically name called in this post. You labeled or rather stated that your son labeled adults, blah, 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 blah. Because if you think they can, then that is what is your point. Be content your own decision since the unvax shouldn't be able to do it. Now, I said, did I call your name? Yes or no? She don't answer that. I said, first of all unvaxxed are public health risk. And out of the world in the public health crisis, I understand your type. She don't like this when I say your type. Don't like correction or solid information, so I'm going to bow out. Peace to you. Okay, I'm not going to do this back and forth. Do what you want to do what you want. Say what you want. Take whatever the media line as government encourage you to take. Is your choice. Blah, 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 blah. And then she says, my type. Wait, what? Peace. And then I says, yes, your type. You can't be taught anything because your unwillingness to learn. Whatever I say, you don't care. You ain't trying to learn. And peace. I see we are not friends no more. Best wishes. Now let me show y'all something. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, okay. Can't see the post. Don't worry about it because I got a screenshot of it. So she put up a post. Let me go to my gallery on my phone. See, you can't mess with me. You can't mess with me. I know what I'm talking about. Notice it's all females. It's all females. And we ain't even done. I still got more females to go. I got more females to go. I have to make sure my sons, they get them a woman who's scientifically literate. Yep, my sons need a woman that's scientifically literate. Hell, I didn't shoot. They might need to go back to Christianity. Hell, where my post go? Look, she even on this with that bullshit. Look, this lady say a white man quote. So, you know, I killed that. I killed that quick. Kofi was laughing the way I killed that. Where my post at, y'all? That mug ain't loading. Let me go to my library. I be storing all kind of stuff in here. Boom, boom. Let me zoom in on it real good. Can y'all see this? All right, everybody should be able to see this. See, this is today. This is today. Y'all see this, right? Everybody should be able to see this. Okay. Same female. This is why I know what I'm talking about. She says, Bay said, look up the word COVID backwards. It's DVOC. They are steady putting things in plain sight, but most still don't get it. Shaking my head. They created the problem, COVID, give you a solution, the jab, and then take your freedoms and more. Y'all have to understand the word magic and pay attention to the signs. Look at this. Matrix aware on Twitter. Pseudo. Devok meaning. Devok is a Hebrew word that means possession of an evil spirit. A person who is possessed by an evil spirit submitted by Repsigator on August 4th. Look at how pseudo. Look at how fucking pseudo. Look at how pseudo she is. her boyfriend is too. It's a shame because men are misleading these women and they believe in it. The damn definition didn't even exist until 5 days ago. What's today? What's today? What's today? Today's the 20th. Today's the 20th because it's 12. 5 days ago, literally 5 days ago, this definition goes into effect on some type of website. And it was entered on Rapsigator on the website. And then they go over here and say, get a load of this. Biden stated the COVID systems, now you see what I'm saying? They're doing all of that. And then they got a screenshot, COVID, DVOC. They going through doing all of this, DVOC. The Matrix. The meaning of the name DVOC, possession of an evil spirit, and is of Hebrew origin. DVOC means Latin, break up, under, disrupt, blah, blah, blah. This is what they're doing. Let's go back. Let's see if the damn post load. And y'all think I just be making up stuff, man. I know exactly what I'm doing, man. I told y'all I'm on my assault tip. I'm challenging everybody. I don't care what side of the coin you on. I'm at your neck. So on her post, I correct her and tell her exactly what COVID means because it's in my book, in chapter 2 of my book, to be exact. So this dude show up. This dude say, boy, stop. If you I don't know what JIT is, got a vaccine, kudos to you. Don't try to insult others to do the same stupid ass decision. I think you cats be getting paid under the table to push these vaccines hard as you folk is. Luckily, y'all is still in the minority. Brandon, y'all bust out laughing. 170 plus million fully vaccinated. That's over half. It's a pandemic along with unvaccinated, and the point is unvaccinated people make up almost 100% of the deaths, hospitalization, of course, new COVID cases. I think you get paid to miseducate black folks. Luckily, y'all is the minority. Those of you who advocate people to take the vaccine, pay attention. Ain't no y'all. If you think you're smart by being on the wrong side of history, that's dumb as fuck. The smart people have always been the minority because they know how to think critically and process data. You know the data you can't comprehend or will take the time to read. You TikTok attention span people funny. Have you ever gotten payment for spreading information on any occasion? Brandon, no, but you sound like you have. You seem to know about it. And Ladosha, last comment. Kids are almost always smarter than adults. All right. Boom. Boom. So that's what I've been up to today. That's what I've been up to. Well, I ain't from Florida, so you can't talk to me about no JIT. I don't know what the hell no damn JIT is. Hold on, I'm reading something. Come on, that perfect picture. Still winning, right? Yep. To hell with Tim Tebow. But anyway, so that's one thing that I actually been on today is how I offended people by saying my son was more responsible than these other people. That sister said COVID DVOC backwards. She don't realize she's unfamiliar with nomenclature. This is the problem that I be having with people. Like, that's why my attention span is so short. And I told y'all in another post that by the end of the year, I said, I'm gonna piss off more people than a Simotep. Anthony Smith said start screenshotting. Yeah, she called me Google King. I don't mind. Shoot, I read books and I use Google. I search for what I need. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I know how to search for the right information. There's a difference between Googling shit and searching for the right information. So yeah, I don't care. She can call me Google extraordinaire. Hell yeah. To get the truth, I'm gonna find it. You're not going to out research me. I'm gonna buy the books and I'm gonna Google up some shit and I'm gonna study it and I'm gonna make sure that I got it. I'm gonna find it. That's what researching is about. Substantiating what you actually read. By the way, the book I almost done. We working on we're past halfway through the book, editing and stuff like that. The chapter we're on right now is long. The next 2 chapters long because they're very important. Well, the chapter we're editing right now is very important. And then the next chapter, it's important, but it ain't as important as the chapter we're on right now. And once that chapter is done, we're going to be further along. I see we had a couple of more people come in. Y'all actually missed the presentation on the case of the immunocompromised. You know, I'm not going to make this a real long video. Please like the show, share the show, tell a friend, subscribe to the channel. I ain't got number 142 subscribers, but only 20 people show up. Absolutely, Zane. And another thing, Zane, I wouldn't apologize. I know Juju told you to apologize, but I wouldn't apologize, bro. Take your position and hold it. Them people stupid. You see what I said on the post? I said everybody on there already bashing the video, didn't even watch it. All failed science. Dude that you was talking about, well, one of the dudes that was telling you to shut up and all of that. I'm like, you supposed to be a pillar in your community. How is you running around here talking about you ain't vaccinated and you had COVID twice and 3 people in your family supposedly had the vaccine? But what you don't tell us is when did were they infected before they got the vaccine and then still got the vaccine anyway? He ain't tell us none of that because he don't know. He just claiming something. Nah, bro, I ain't apologizing. I called them all stupid. I ain't apologizing. She calling the fam because they are, you know, she went down there in Texas as part of the RBG movement thing and all of that. No, your fam ain't ignorant. And he tagged me, I ain't respond yet. I told him it's disingenuous. I went on there and banged him up. I banged him up. You run around here talking about you infected with COVID twice. And like, that's cool. I said that same type of behavior is a dude that'll go get HIV and then don't tell his old lady he got HIV. Yep. I said it's irresponsible. Nah, it ain't no biological fam. Hell nah, not Rich, not Rob. Ain't no biological fam. But it was down there with he was down there when the whole little Shoegate happened with old pseudo dude. He was there for Shoegate. Nah, I went on there swinging straight up. Cause the people she tagged is the illiterate group. They wouldn't even watch the video, bro. It wasn't even telling them to do something. You see what I'm saying? The video ain't even telling them to go get vaccinated or do any of that. They just immediately took a position. How do you immediately take a position to get something? And then old boy the same when I want to argue on talking about evolution. I'll show y'all. I don't care. And I'll be in Dallas. I don't care. What they gonna do? Get mad at me? I don't care. I told you I'm pissing off everybody. That illiterate stuff is a wrap for me. It's a wrap. Here you go right here. Watch your boy. Watch your boy get busy. Oh, Chavis on that moment. On it. Chavis then came in. Look. 3 of my family members just got out of the ICU with COVID. That's a lie. If they were all vaccinated, all 3 were vaccinated in both doses, that's a lie. 3 people, bro, you lying. I get straight to the point. You say that craziness, I get straight to the point. Where you at? Here you go. Boom. Boom. They talking. I say, Rich Ross, I don't believe that. I said, that is nothing to brag about. You don't know how fine you are. I ain't mean to say that. Yeah, he don't know how fine he is. He said he fine. Look, I had COVID twice and I'm just fine. You don't know how fine you are. How you come to a you fine conclusion, shaking my head, craziness, fam. What kind of leadership is that? He said, I don't care if you believe me about my health. You crazy as fuck. I said, I know you don't. That's why I said what I said. And I said, nah, you crazy. Who brag about catching COVID like it's cool? And then he said, when did I brag about it? I said, just now. Why would you tell someone you had COVID twice as if that's cool? That ain't cool. That's crazy. You the type of dude get HIV and lay up with a chick and never tell her that irresponsible ass behavior. You a pill in the community. Ain't no goddamn way I'm cool with this type of foolery. Nah, bro. He said, I hate being lied on. So they talk, I don't say nothing. And then he's still talking, I don't say nothing. If you have any integrity, you should apologize to me. Who like that? Now I'm finna comment. Said, I'm in the twilight zone. Look, he says, you claim to be fine. How do we know you're not? The reason the people in ICU aren't there behind you, how we know you ain't passed them the Delta since you saying that you're fine? You're obviously not being careful out here to have caught COVID twice. People like you are a threat to others. How old are these family members? What pre-existing conditions do they have? When did they get the vaccines? You see what I'm saying? All the real talk stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody trying to hear all that. You know, I'm banging because you ain't finna do none of that. Look, she's like, they didn't die. That is the goal. Jolanda, I don't believe nobody. Kadeem say something right there, telling them apologize. I make a mad face on one of Kadeem comments. I don't heard it right here. This is me. I'm mad. Don't even tell him to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Go on down. He tell Kadeem, STF, yeah, shut the fuck up. Nah, I ain't with all that. So I'm hitting back. She telling him to do all that. I'm hitting back. I ain't playing none of that. You see what I'm saying? Like right here, he called Kadeem apologized earlier. And 3 hours ago, he called Kadeem a puss ass nigga. That's what that means, puss ass nigga. So when I see him say that, I go back and I start commenting. I say, and then I tell Kadeem, that's real. I slide out. So then dude said, I never got a vaccine for anything and not about to start. And I told him, you lied. And I don't even say nothing after that. He said, after birth, that is it. He don't know. He don't know. Look, and look what he say, never not a flu vaccine. Ain't nobody said nothing about no flu vaccine, bro. We talking about vaccines. The flu vaccine ain't the only vaccine. People think it's stupid. These are irresponsible people that we try to look to and build with. All these people fail science, Juju. Why you tag them? Plus, they ain't going, they're supposed to be support. I need to fix it. They ain't gonna support positivity. Same old folks being signed at a chat on some RBG belief shit, but ain't leading when it's time to lead. Facebook frontlining and capping. All this over this video right here. I hate when she do that. We're tagging them fools. Don't support none we do. Don't support none we do. And therefore, I'm standing on what I told y'all. In my day post, I told y'all that I'm pissing everybody off. On purpose. I want people uncomfortable around me. Because I'm standing on the truth. Like, I don't want you to think it's cool to be around me and you ain't vaccinated? Nah, I don't want you thinking it's cool. It's just like buying houses. Like, I don't want to be around people who rent. What I need to be around people who rent for? Like, I'm trying to motivate everybody to buy houses, man. Get your stuff together. Put yourself in position to handle your business. I know some take a little bit longer than others, but hell, that's the goal. I'm trying to inspire other people around me to be successful. I can gain success from that success. It's like, be the change you want to see. Like, bruh, like for real. I want everybody to elevate. That's Black power. That's real RBG. That's real Pan-Africanism. Elevating people around you, man. Pushing people to be better. Making people change. Forcing people to change. So I plan on pissing everybody off. They either gonna make it or break it. I don't care. They gonna block me or knock me. Something. They gonna rock with me or block me. That's how I'm coming. That's how I'm coming. Straight asshole. Science with Sean all day long. Because that's how we're gonna get to the truth. And I cussed a lot of times in this, and I apologize because I try to make all my stuff kid friendly, and I want to advance knowledge, and I might have let some frustrations out in a calm way. Yep, ABN all day. Yep, and that's how I'm gonna be. But the problem is that you have these people who formulate these cliques, these RBG cliques that are irresponsible and a threat to society when they have influence on other people. They be hosting and throwing cookouts. People be going to Dallas for those RBG meets. They be behind that. They'll throw another one right now and then infect all them people. How irresponsible is that? You had COVID twice. And then he's saying, and then he don't understand the fact that he think he ain't bragging. He is. He said, I had COVID twice and I ain't had no symptoms. Argue about evolution. You argue about every level of science with unk that you can. And that's why you scientifically illiterate. You don't know no better. Listen, I know people who smoke weed, right? I know people who smoke weed and it helped them study. They get smarter. I know people who smoke weed and get dumb. Them motherfuckers is getting dumb. They got fentanyl or something. They got something slow on their weed. They strand. But look, man, it's 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 1 p.m. in Central, 11 p.m. on the West Coast. Sutek said they need some sativa. That's gonna make them smart. And I just want y'all to know this, man. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm about my people. All my people who mess with me, I mess with you back. Straight like that. You mess with me, I mess with you back. The long way. And I'm loyal, so I'm ride or die. I don't do all that side switching and all that. I get it how I live. And I'm gonna make sure you get it how you live. And we're gonna stand on something. We're gonna stand on principle and we're gonna move it forward. I'm about the people. I do what I do because I care for my people. I care about the people around me. Ain't no way in hell that I'm gonna put any one of y'all in harm's way. Anyone who made it to the end of this video at the 146 mark, I am not going to put you in harm's way. I'm not going to tell you to go get a vaccine and I know it's going to mess you up. I'm going to look at the data. I'm going to look at the science. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to get with the experts. I'm going to learn from the experts. I'm going to buy their work. I'm going to try to figure it out where I can give it as lay as possible way. And when it get too technical, I'm going to bow. I'm going to rely on other people who got medical dictionaries and can pronunciate these words and know exactly what these words mean and what part of the body they're talking about. I'm going to Malcolm. I'm going to people like that. I'm going to look toward my uncles. I'm going to look toward my cousins, my aunties. I'm going to go to them. What's this? What's that? Like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to ask questions. And the next time, I'm going to be super sharp. But the point is, I'm going to do this shit for y'all. I don't get paid for this. I do my job. Listen, I do my job and this at the same time. I manage my job. While I do put together presentations, read these books, study, do all of that. I try to fit it in where I can fit it in at during breaks, my lunches, sneaking time here and there where I can. Risking stuff for the sake of my people. I don't think people respect that. I don't make no money. Y'all don't see no super chats. Y'all don't see no what's that thing called? Cash apps. Nobody giving me nothing. I mean, I had a few people support the hell out of me. I will say that. One person in particular support the hell out of me. And I'm very grateful for that. They don't even like being mentioned, recognized, or name said, or anything like that. They do it out of love. Telling me to keep pushing, keep writing, keep working, keep being me, and respect what I do. Big supporter. And I appreciate that person wholeheartedly. A lot of love for that person. I don't know nothing about all that 220. Hey, were they live today? Was Unc them live today? Outside of Dr. Ma'at, because y'all know we was on Dr. Ma'at going. Well, they was on Dr. Ma'at going in. I just comment at the end of that. Trying to see something. Nah, okay, they weren't live. Oh, okay. I was about to say I missed all that. But yeah, man. Nah, y'all respect y'all respect all them cult leaders who be scamming y'all and beating y'all out y'all money. Y'all be over there donating money in their super chats and sending them little cash apps and sending them thousands of dollars for them to act like they finna put a daycare together, and then they beat you out of the $10,000-$15,000 they raised on the GoFundMe, and then they come up with another excuse talking about they gotta pay their lawyers at another $8,000. Then they switch all the way up and go holler at the Trumpists and get hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Trumpists and then move. Y'all be rocking with that stuff. Nah, I'm just messing. Hey, Ali, do I appreciate that, bro. You do too. You're a part of the team. You're honorary. You're part of the team. You showing us how to farm. You showing us how to eat healthy and do certain things right. So we appreciate the work you do, bro. Yeah, the pseudo killer tripping. Listen. That be Sheffrin. Sheffrin, if you listening to me right now, bro, which I know you not, you sleep. But Sheffrin, stop adding Thunder. What the hell is Thunder doing? Y'all they really just be adding Thunder to beat them up. But you're not gonna beat the pseudo out of Thunder. He entrenched in it. He believed what he believed. He's still indoctrinated. But nah, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I'm about to crash on y'all, man, because I'm gonna have to get right back up in 5 hours, take my kids to school, and then try to go back to sleep. Then I really need to wash my car. I'm gonna do that myself. I ain't got no money to pay for nobody to wash my car. Wash my car. I need to read this book. I got about 30 pages left in. I need to read that. And then I need to start a new book, read that book, and then go back, do some cross-referencing and put a little presentation together for everybody. Ali Duael, Thunder is pseudo for real. He don't know. Y'all think that he be playing, but no, he's dead serious, bro. He's serious as hell. Dead ass serious. He don't be playing. He Google himself into every argument. That's just Thunder. He don't know. So if he don't know, he'll look it up real quick or while y'all talking, and then he'll figure his way into it. Y'all call it devil's advocate. I call it Thunder's advocate. Cause Thunder, that's the Thunder advocate way. Nah, he don't be playing. Sometimes he be, but for real, he'll trip you up though. Sometimes he be learning, but he still be acting. You feel me? That's when you know he acting, when he playing around. Because when he know he been corrected on something, he cool with it. But he just trying to drag it out because he might hear a new argument or something like that. So you gotta watch him for that. But depending on the topic, yeah, he don't be playing. Like, he do the Thunder advocate thing when it comes to vaccines and stuff. When it comes to vaccines, he do that often. He know the answer, but he'll do his, Thunder's advocate thing to see if there's any additional information he's unfamiliar with, because he's listening. He'll listen. He'll listen, and he real stern on the Egyptian thing. He just try to bang that out, but he's not. It's a feeling for him. It's emotional. He argued from emotions and not intelligence when it comes to Kemet. But nah, man, I hope everybody appreciate the first 50 minutes of this particular video. The additional hour that went on in this video had to deal with pseudos, and majority of them are sisters, the pseudo sisterhood. A lot of them unfriended me today, and rightfully so. I challenged their position regarding being responsible adults, and nobody wants to not feel like a responsible adult, especially to a teenager. And therefore, they felt the need to just go ahead and unfriend me because I kick a lot of vaccine science. And I'm going to continue to do that. Like I said, I'm on my Asa Imhotep-ish, and I am going to frustrate a lot of people for the rest of 2021. And 2022 might be a different ball game, but until then, it's going down. And on that note, y'all know what I'm about to do.